Right, so yeah, pump yourselves up.
Got that bean
Tiger
juice.
face. Lemon face.
Lemon
Tiger
face.
face. Lemon face.
Cool. Squidzilla Inc.'s podcast is sponsored by Goblin Gaming. Use our link below for all your hobby needs. And on that note, welcome everyone to Round the Painting Table podcast. Join us for the next hour or so here on YouTube or anywhere where you get your audio podcasts from. I am Warhammer Rose, your host for this evening, and we have with us Vulcan Lifts, Kit Bash Converts, and YouTube.
Ew.
Welcome everyone. So we've got loads to talk about this evening. So we'll just kind of get into it. So obviously, hopefully, if you're here now, you've seen episode 1. If not, go and watch that or listen to that quickly, just so you know what we're about. If you already know what we're about, let's get on with it. So we're just going to do a quick roundup of kind of our hobby update. So obviously, the three of us were here last time. YouTube is probably going to take up like a whole special part because this guy gets through shit really quick. We'll bleep that out.
That's us all to shame.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll just quickly flick through it. So it's been about 3 weeks, I think, since we got together last, guys. Thereabouts, 3 to 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's been a bit of a slow one, if I'm honest. All I've really done, I say really done, is I got that knight built. He's now primed. Not got any other paint on him right now. I've been doing some terrain. So a couple of streams I've been doing. I've been painting up my battle center, which is up there. I'll put some pictures in the podcast for you to see. Just a bit of a palette cleanser, really, because obviously, painting Space Marines. Not that it gets old, but you can only paint so much blue.
It gets old.
Yeah.
It gets old.
You don't paint blue. You paint loads of different. Obviously, I had a couple of games. One of those is out now, so check that out as well. That's going great guns. Yeah, and I just wanted to do something a bit different. So I've got all this terrain knocking about, and terrain that needs painting still. So I thought I'd get cracking on that. So adding in some metals, just messing around with some bits and pieces. Want to add in some technical paints. Maybe even mess around with some pigments as well. I heard you guys talking about pigments a lot, and I'm like, I want to do some pigments.
Pigment powders are great.
Don't leave me out on the pigment train. So once I get to that kind of the right, I guess, place with it all, I'll be tapping you up for pigment knowledge and cracking on with it. So and then. I did some eBay sniping. It's always good. You sat on the couch. You're like, I don't need to buy any more Warhammer. Got all these new releases coming out. I don't need to buy any more Warhammer right now. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's 5.
As long as you didn't buy any invaded ATVs, you'll be fine.
Yeah, not yet.
It's an expensive time for a Space Marine player.
They're terrible.
Yeah. So I was like, that's just 5 regular Terminators, like new on sprue, unpainted. Guy had done some bits and pieces with them, so there was some storm bolters, some lightning claws and stuff like that. So I was like, well,
with mixed Terminators.
Yeah, but there's just 5 of them, and I was like, I'll have a punt on that. At the time, it was like a £5, and I ended up winning the bid at like £11. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Regardless of the shape they come in, they looked okay in the picture. They arrived like a few days later after I won it, and if you remember, guys, when I got the Series 2 Terminators, so you obviously got the Ancient, the Terminator Ancient in that bundle. I had a load of storm bolters and stuff left over because I used all the lightning claws out of my bits box to make 5 lightning claw Terminators. Yeah. So I had a load of storm bolters and bits left over and the heavy flamer. So I was like, I'll make a 5-man dedicated Terminator squad. So power fists and storm bolters, and then I'm going to magnetize the heavy to take the chain fist and the heavy flamer. Obviously getting the extra wound on the Terminators, the flamer getting the extra range, so it'd be 12 inches. Just give me another tool, I guess, in my arsenal to have a play around with. And then
I do really like that change to the new flamer rules.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's like
it was needed.
Oh yeah.
and you've got, when aggressors were double tapping, you'd be like, oh, well, I've deep stroke 9 inches away, and your piddly flamers are only 8, so goodbye. It was just like, you could imagine, couldn't you, like, all this flame coming out of these flame aggressors, then it just stopping an inch away, just petering out.
Always made me laugh when it's like, right, I'll do a really long bomb charge from 9 inches away, but you've got an 8-inch flamer. Oh, okay, I'm just going to ignore the wall of fire I'm running through.
Yeah.
It really annoyed me as the Salamanders playing.
Oh, absolutely,
One of the reasons I stopped playing them for a bit. I was just like, this is ridiculous.
So, obviously, with that in mind, I was like, I'll get some Terminators, because Terminators are cool. We've said it before, depending on the pattern of Terminator, they all look cool. So, I'm gonna flesh out some of those Terminators, so I'll get them kind of built and primed, and then kind of get them painted at some point. But obviously, that kind of pushes the knight back on the train, or the sisters, so... I've got a couple of weeks off now, so I've got some things I want to achieve while I'm off, obviously outside of family and life. So I really want to do some, what I've coined it as hobby consolidation. Now that's not me getting rid of anything. Let me just get that straight. That is, and this is how I call it, hobby consolidation. So this is obviously a pack of sprues. Everybody's got these lying at home. So this is from my Sisters of Battle. So each sprue's probably got about 5, 6, maybe more, I think. This one's got, like, heads galore on this sprue. So what I'm doing, and I've already done it to my AdMech and my Custody stuff, is clip everything off these, and then they're going to go into these little... So obviously, ignore the brand, because it's just any box, but this is little monthly subscription box that my wife gets. But basically, it just pulls out, and it's got all my bits in, so I'll label that up as AdMech, etc. And that reduces my bits box down quite considerably into these small kind of packages.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see on my window ledge, that box there. That's just brimming with sprues and stuff. I really need to do the same.
Yeah, it's proper monotonous, but
I've got a bag full.
it kind of needs to be done, because the box I've got all my bits in, like some tools and bases and all that kind of jazz. I can't shut the box now. So I kind of need to make space. And then I'll actually go, oh, look at all this extra stuff I've got. Hopefully. And then I'll kind of crack on with the other hobby bits, really, that I've got on.
I bought little, the shells with the tiny little drawers in for sorting screws and things. I bought a bunch of them. And that's as far as I got. Everything is still...
Is it still in the cellophane? Like, it's not been opened? The guy at Toolfix is like, oh, you must have a lot of screws. Yeah. Loads of screws.
Just keep buying them.
Loads of screws. Yep. Swimming in them.
Whole lot of screws.
And that is about it, really. It's been pretty quiet, obviously, outside of streaming, and life. Work's been pretty hectic for me this past couple of weeks. Kind of started a new job in lockdown, obviously, which is great. Just been getting my head around that. So the kind of the hobby has taken a bit of a backseat, but I'm hoping. And next week as well, all being well, mother-in-law moves out, so the garage starts to get empty, so I can start putting the table back in the garage.
Yeah.
And get those. Well, I guess.
We could do some impromptu games.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So that is me. We'll leave you till last YouTube, because you've got obviously an epic list that's going to show us all up. Absolutely, yeah. So speaking of saga, Kit Bash.
Hi.
Tell us your saga.
My saga, Space Wolves, and
AdMech?
Kingdom Death, actually. So that's pretty much it. I'd say I'm sort of 99% complete on my Arjak or Aryak, or the guy with the hammer who thinks he's Thor.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty much completed on him. Gonna do just a little bit more green stuffing to do, but other than that, it's like minor fur detailing. Same with Logan Grimnar. He is just got to sort his cloak out, because it's a bit mad, because there's like a mismatch of fur types, so I'm having to redo all the fur on it, because the one from the fur on Abaddon is that kind of squiggly fur.
Yes.
Whereas the fur on Logan is the kind of like little
Fur.
bits that look like triangles all over each other, sort of thing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The Space Wolf fur always seems different than the Chaos
And that
fur.
and
does.
that, guys, that is the level of detail you get with kit bash converts. Like, if that was any of us, so we've done that. Sorry, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Blend it in with a bit of green
it's
stuff.
completely
Maybe
different.
put like a bit of green stuff to merge it, and then that's it.
Yes.
I was going to do that, but then once I put it all together, it kind of everything was pointing the wrong direction. So yeah, so I've stripped it all off, all the fur off, and I'm putting new fur on him. And then right now I'm just doing a simple, easy, quick conversion for Ulrich the Slayer by cutting him to pieces and sticking him on the Indomitus chaplain.
Ooh.
And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, pretty much everything fits together.
Yeah.
Like, I cut the belt out from the Indomitus one, and the belt that I cut out from Ulrich just fits straight in.
Be like, wait, this isn't hard.
Most of the people, when they're doing any form of conversion, are like, I'm going to pick the lower half of that model and the upper half of that model, and there we go, there's my conversion. And Christian's like, no, I like his shoes, his belt,
Yeah, well, no, that's pretty much because
the left
I've got
leg from that model.
I've got his cloak from Ulrich, so I've had to cut the entire inside of the back of the cloak out because that was his torso. So I've cut the torso from the cloak, and then cut the back from him, so that they go together, and it just fits.
Good God, man.
Good God.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'm proceeding to go through this, and then everything just fits.
Yeah.
And then I'll glue it together, and then prime it, and job done. Everything else, a little bit of a back banner on there, things like that. Who else have we got? Ragnar is. I've found a head for him that I like. It's the Crom Dragon Gaze.
Ragnar the Headless.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick him together now because he's done. And then the rest of the Indomitus set, which I've nowhere near finished.
Yeah.
Need to stick it all together.
Still not finished,
And then
man.
after that, it's just about 3 miles of pelt that I've got to do. I've got me
Pixie.
remaining
Away from
bits
my
of
casters club, right.
green stuff to do on there. But yeah, that's that. Painting wise, just a Kingdom Death, which I did
Cool.
on stream.
Yes,
last
you
time.
did, yeah.
Yeah. I was checking it
I'll
out. She looks really cool.
Be some pictures of that on there.
Yeah. What about your
So we've got to
Blanchitsu?
stick her together. Oh yeah,
Yeah, don't forget
did that as well.
What was the
Did
name of the
that, entered
competition?
The competition. It was for Ionov 4.
That was it?
Ionov 4 comp. Or
Yes.
Something like that.
Something full comp, yeah.
Yeah. There were loads of entries into that, and the ones who won deserved to win. They were far better. They were just sort of like completely mad,
Yeah.
which is what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Whereas mine was just a little bit.
Still look cool,
But,
though. Like,
Cool.
yeah, I
Partially
mean,
mad.
I enjoyed making it. Well, yeah, the ones who won definitely did deserve to win. There wasn't any doubt about that.
Yeah.
I'm looking over there because I've got other bits. There was another competition which I actually forgot to enter but started doing, which was called Evolution of a Hero.
okay.
And you basically had to create 3 conversions to represent the same person, the same hero, the same character.
Yeah.
So you do it like when they start out, in the middle, and towards the end, and then write a story to go with it. So I've done for him. I've got him as the final form. I've got kind of a bit of a leader role for him in the middle, where he's part of a tech priest and part of a Skitarii leader, and then I've got the sort of rogue trader-esque Skitarii foot soldier explorer type thing for his first incarnation, but I completely ran out of time and forgot I was doing it.
Oh.
So I didn't actually enter for the competition, but I'm still going to finish them anyway because it's fun
Yeah,
to
it's a
make
cool
those
idea,
sorts of
isn't it?
things.
Yeah, definitely.
And
And
your
then,
AdMech army's so diverse on its models as well, that you can literally just like, oh yeah, he's just a Dominus this time.
Yeah, I could
Just
slot
throw
him in.
there.
Other than that, there was the little digital conversion thing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I did with Kitbash Community. They sort of wanted to do a little versus battle. Be doing another one soon as well, maybe next weekend I think. Muscaven tank, which was Screaming Bell Executioner. Everything should fit as well because I made sure to try and get the scale right, so the bases are all the same. So it theoretically is possible to make a Screaming Bell Executioner.
Mm.
they did a nice tag on theirs, which is Skaven Guard.
Yeah.
That's good. So Skaven Guard, Screaming Executioner. I don't know what name to be determined.
Nice.
But anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I've been doing since
Who won
last time.
out of the two of you?
We didn't really do it as a competition in the sense of like there is a winner. He obviously got more likes, but they obviously got more likes. They're like a coalition like we are in Australia.
Yeah.
But they've also got over 10,000 followers, and I've got 500. But it did push me from 400 and something to 500 and something followers. So I don't mind doing that. It gets me more followers. So yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Look forward to seeing what you do next weekend then.
I really enjoyed those conversion concepts. They just look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely want you to build all of them.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. I mean, the squats, they started off as a digital conversion.
Yeah.
And that worked. So one thing I want to make is the goat guardsmen, the beastmen.
Beastman Guard.
Yeah, because they should all work, and it's one of those things from the Rogue Trader stuff, and I think the second edition, maybe even third edition, you could still get beastmen in
You could do
the Imperial Army. And Necromunda's been bringing these sort of things back lately.
Yeah.
It's quite random when they bring them in, like, without context.
Yeah, but it works in Necromunda in the sense like you go like, oh, it's a mercenary or whatever. Easy, sorted. You only have to make one of them at that point, and you go, it existed in the lore. We're bringing this model. Here he is. He's a mercenary. Bang! You can use mini warband, and it gives GW the opportunity to keep their IP alive, because I imagine that will get to a point where they go, well, they haven't used that idea for 20 years, so they can't really claim any copyright on it. So they go, there you go, Beastman in space.
Are just
damn it.
leaping forward.
There you go. All right, well, he's not going to put a dwarf in space. Damn it. Okay, right. Well, he's not going to put giant lizard man in 4 legs. Oh, for God's sake. So I expect Slan will appear at some point in Necromunda.
The Slan.
A Star Priest or something like that,
Like the day before it runs out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
yeah.
There's
Awesome.
a couple
Anyway.
of theories floating around, wasn't there, when they showed the codexes, and there was a couple of people saying, oh, there's going to be a new army, there's going to be a new Xenos army.
Yeah, this was the January Codex, wasn't it? Like one of the 2 books has got the image out of the core rulebook, which is very Xenos based.
Yeah.
It looks like concept art for lots of different unknown Xenos races. Like there's a shark-headed thing, and there's some other things that could be related to, some form of Xenos we already know. But what was the rumor? Like,
there's still quite a few. I mean, quite a few of them said it was. Is that a new Death Guard one? The ones I saw, which was less enthusiastic, to be honest. But because one's kind of like a greeny colour, and the other one was there was a few AdMech type things on there, but everyone didn't immediately say it was AdMech, and they're thinking, oh, is it going to be Dark Mech? The Dark Mechanicus, because
Dark
I'd love to
Mechanicus
see
is
Dark
great.
Mechanicus.
Yeah, there's a lot of want for it, and as far as it's concerned at the moment, Dark Mechanicus is just sort of the explanation behind anything Chaos makes that isn't based on old Imperial technology.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at this Demon Engine. Yeah, Dark Mechanicus made that.
Well,
Oh, okay, cool.
Perturabo, he's a busy boy.
Yeah, and that's all you get. Because, what was it, the former Fabricator of Mars is Dark Mechanicus as well. He succumbed and went on Horus's
He's now named
side.
himself Pro Turbo.
Yeah.
Which is actually a miniature. There's this Polish company that does alternate sculpts for all the Primarchs, and they had to rename them all. So one of them, so Perturabo is called Pro Turbo on there.
awesome.
That is a must buy. It's quite cheeky.
Just for the name alone,
Yeah.
I think they deserve bonus points for
Pro
that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Salute last year, it was great.
Stick him on one of the new Primaris Outrider bikes.
Hey.
Yeah,
Now with Pro Turbo
Yeah.
in every box. Cool.
Yeah, I think that covers everything for
yeah.
me so far.
I think
Cool.
you paid quite a bit there, mate.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks.
Oh, I haven't painted any of it. Hey, that's been building things.
Whoa.
You painted your competition piece, and you painted your Kingdom Death thing, and
That's true. That
done
is
a bit
true.
of this, a bit of that. And you've done a lot of converting, haven't you? So you've been busy.
Busy. Definitely busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
Positive.
Carved a pumpkin today.
Carved a pumpkin. Did you paint the pumpkin?
No, I was going to do one
Got
where
to.
it's like an orc head in it,
Ooh.
but that got vetoed. So I have done.
So I went
Jack
and bought my own
skeleton.
pumpkin.
I was going to say you're
haunted
the
house.
most elaborate pumpkin known to man.
Oh well,
There'll
it
be
started
6
off with
pumpkins
it
together
started
to
off
make
as a
goblin.
family pumpkin building exercise, and then after the family attempted to build the pumpkins, they then went, "This is a Daddy is building all the pumpkins exercise." So now I'm just doing all of them.
Typical.
It's like, Daddy, is this Warhammer?
It is now.
It is now.
Yes. What are you doing there? This is the fall of
Christian's built an
Sanguinius.
Imperator Titan out of the insides of various different pumpkins.
Yeah, the pumpkin comes out with legs, and it's just he's stuck all these mechanic arms to it.
With real
fully
firing
mechanised.
action.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Controlled.
Tune in next week.
Have to see some pictures of those, mate.
Cool. So Vulcan lifts. You're beavering away there. I can see you're busy
Yeah.
painting. What have you been working on, man?
At the minute, I'm painting up the basically like the command ship for the new Mantic Games Armada game, which is basically Man of War. If anybody remembers GW Man of War game. So they've done a fantasy style ship game. I'm sure you can pop some pictures up to show what's going on. But
No pictures.
there's some sick models. Like I've been beavering away at this most of the day, and I did the sales on stream with Tube last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken a while. I don't know what it is about the model, but I'm using a lot of Army Painter paints which I've not used before, and the coverage is a bit weird. Like they're not. It takes some getting used to them. I've just tried. I've just tried to put glaze medium in one of them to see if I can thin it out because it's quite thick. When you pour them out, they pour out really gel-like and very thick.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you paint with them, you're going to need to put more layers on. You think you've got a really thick layer of paint, but in actual fact, when you start spreading it on, it goes dead thin. It's weird. They're just different.
Yeah.
And I've used scale 75 paints as well before, and I've actually mixed a scale 75 with an Army Painter one before just to see what happens. And I was really happy with the mixture actually, because that one was quite gel-like. I thought it's give it a really good shake, see if that worked. Not really.
No.
It's still very gel-like, but like I say, with all different paints, each brand's slightly different. It just takes a little bit of adaptation. But I was recommending this one to Tube because he was using Rakkar flesh quite a lot. An Army Painter do Drake Tooth, which is actually bang on the money for the colour. It's very, very similar colour, and it's much smoother than Rakkar flesh. Rakkar flesh
Rakkar
is a pain.
is lovely the first time you open it, and then turns into cream cheese very, very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, some of the lighter coloured ones, I like that from GW.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find that
White
with my
scars is
whites
just
and
as
things.
bad.
Yeah, white scar.
Yeah.
It just turns lumpy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really,
Yeah.
really, really weird experience when you pick it up and you're like, but it's gone off.
Well, white
What?
paint's a bit odd like that anyway. Like
Yeah.
White paint seems to thicken up really quick.
Why is it
Well,
great?
if you go off the description with when they were on about doing the contrast paint base sprays, base spray paints, blah blah blah. They went with off-white colours because then they went through the explanation that when you do white, the molecules of white paint are physically bigger or more prone to clumping than any of the other pigments.
Yeah. I
It's
remember
like
that,
just
yeah.
heavy pigments, not like radioactive pigments. I mean, like
That explains
the
it.
weighty. Yeah, and that's why white paint is just naff like that. So then any colour that isn't white is actually like as far away from white as possible without it you know, it's like yellow as close to white as possible without it actually being using any of the elements of white paint.
It affects drying times as well. So I don't know if anybody's noticed certain things like white dries much faster. If you mix a bit of white in with your paint, it dries faster. And one paint particularly, like blue, like if you're using blues, they take the longest to cure from memory. Like certain blues, like dark blues, take a long time to cure. Like I put a bit of blue on the ship before, and it looks dry, but it's still quite glossy, so they go quite satin, which means they're not fully cured yet. It's weird, but that's getting right down to the chemistry of it. But yeah, in a nutshell, stuff I've painted, the only stuff I've really done is I've done a bit more work on the Chaplino. He's nearly done. He's still not finished.
One day.
But it's just the Croziest to do now. That's just the Croziest to finish off and then tidy up the base. Then he's done. But
I've heard you call it Spinal Tap. That Croziest.
Well, yeah, it's basically like it's just big spine.
Just a big spine, folks.
It's from because I kit bashed him from Ivanos in Coney, which is one of the Minotaur's chaplain, Forge World chaplains. So I did similar to Christian. I stretched my kit bash muscles and had a go at it, and scraped off his chest plate, leaving only like the bone bit that was on the front. Glued it to the Indomitus chaplain. So I'm excited to finish him off, but I felt quite burnt out with Space Marines, I'll be honest, because I've played quite a few games with Space Marines, so I tend to jump around different stuff, and I've ended up painting some Carnivale. Some of you might have seen on the stream. So I painted up an alligator, painted up a rhino for the monstrous menagerie for the Doctor's faction, and I got a load of those built, ready to, carry on with. But again, I've just gone, now we're going to paint some ships. So I'm just sort of jumping around a bit. I'm not finishing anything, so
standard.
Being quite naughty.
I want to see your Khorne demons.
Khorne demons, they're on a shelf just glaring at me. They're just like
chanting.
We've been sprayed red, and we have been here for 2 years.
Well, to keep myself feeling good, I've got my Mantic army right in front of me. I've got my Bretonnian army there, and they're finished pretty much. There's still a couple of units for them to do, but I've got 1,500 points painted for that. So they look at me whenever I feel down about not finishing a project. I just look up and go, yes. I did finish a project.
I did that.
That one time.
I did that, and I did it on the internet, so there's proof.
There is proof, yeah. Although the VODs, actually, there's still some highlights, isn't
there? Yeah. Still plenty of stuff knocking about, yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for this Armada game.
Yeah.
I love my ships. Been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves and stuff like that recently. So, yeah, I don't know, that sort of naval battle is always quite fun. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
So I'm quite keen to give that a go. And it's played on like a 3x3 or 4x4, and it's simplified Black Seas rules, but with magic and other stuff, because Black Sea's obviously set in historical.
Yeah.
This is all like magic
fantasy.
Involved, and so I actually want to play the orcs for them. So I'm going to try and pick up the Orc Fleet, because they've got crazy stuff like on the front or the prow of one of the ships. So just show you, this is one of the Basilean ships, which is like one of the religious human factions. It's got like a flaming lady on the front. I imagine just some sort of magic attack.
Nice.
The Orc one has like a spinning doodad on the front of it. So their specialisation is like ramming people. But like the amount of sails that they've crammed in, it's just like Orcs is like go faster. They've just put it's like as many sails as possible, which looks really cool. So I'm excited for them. I think they should get some in November. I think they get that release.
I'm imagining like a Lambretta scooter, like mod scooter with all the wing mirrors on.
Like extra, yeah. It's like it's attached 3 extra sails to your main sail.
Wow.
That's not how things work, but it's orcs, so
Yeah. Goes faster. Paint it red. Paint it red. It goes faster.
yeah. Well, I wanted to get back re-inspired into painting, and I've done quite a bit this weekend.
Yeah. You've had a little bit of a break as well. I mean, you've had some time out of work, and you've spent some time with the family and stuff.
Sorting the house out and whatnot.
Yeah. Obviously, you're in the hobby room, so you were able to get back in it. From our last conversation, you were like, the hobby room is just decimated.
Yeah, I've cleared like a path. So
Oh, okay. So guys, he
stuff
hasn't he hasn't cleared anything. He's just
Still
shuffled a path
You
through.
just shoved it to the side.
I've got a nice little path, so I can access the desk. But the rest of the house is looking tidy, so that's a benefit.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get back on the painting bench.
Awesome. Right. That was an awesome little update from the three of us. So now, the Tale of Tube.
Hello.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, hopefully everybody knows who you are, but obviously you're part of Squidzilla. Talk us through the tale of the tape.
So, I'm the speed painter of Squidzilla. Everyone else has their specialities. Mine is I painted 25,000 points of Space Marines this year.
That's the headline for the episode.
25 points of Space
They look
Marines.
amazing as well. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So every army I buy, I fully paint them up and then usually chuck them on eBay 12 to 18 months later to almost fully pay for my next army. So they all kind of just crept up in size and just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I had 15,000 points of Blood Ravens as of probably June this year. And then I'd fully painted all of them. I kit bashed this guy, so I decided to fully build Gabriel Angelos using Horus Lupercal's model, Gabe's hammer, Rugal Dawn's face, and Rugal Dawn's base. So
Perfect.
yeah, he took
awesome.
quite a lot of chopping and changing to get him in. You can also see the Aquila that usually sits above Rugal Dawn's head, which is part of the chest plate there.
Yeah.
So,
That, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably the most expensive kit bash.
Yeah.
Somebody math that out in the comments.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, he was a lot of fun to build, and then decided that I wanted to move on to a first founding chapter. So I then moved on to Raven Guard. So I sold my 15,000 points, and then bought 10,000 points of Raven Guard with that. I can just see Christian going beep, beep.
Raven Guard.
Having a rave. Bought 10,000 points of Raven Guard. I had a bit left over for finishing other projects and stuff like that. So Infinity, I've finished my Infinity guys, which I still need to photograph. They're just sat up on my shelf up there. Mostly, yes. So I did collapse down the stuff that I had, because when I first heard about Infinity, I was like, oh, I bought loads. Which was silly and too much considering you needed like 6 models to play Infinity.
Yeah.
So I've collapsed down what I had. Also got into Armada, so I did a lot of washes and stuff like that, and then went back over the tops of them, so it gave them a prettier colour, even though the Armada models are very attractive to start off with.
Star Wars Armada.
Yeah, Star Wars Armada.
Yeah.
Finished off my Adeptus Titanicus stuff, so I've got 3,000 points worth of Titans and Knights with Adeptus Titanicus, so went through all of that, and then most of that got sold because I got made redundant unfortunately about 2 months ago, and money was tight and worry and stuff like that. So I have now got a new job, which I start in 2 weeks' time. So my wife was very, very kind and got me this precious boy right here.
This little baby.
Which is this giant lump, football on stilts lump of plastic.
Wow.
Which is the Castus Porphyrion, which I finished building last week.
Wow.
I know most people in the comments are going to be like,
What's one of
stuck the
them?
armor plates on. Yes, I paint around the armor plates But yeah, he's as big as my head.
Yeah.
I have a large head.
That's a big boy, yeah. He looks great.
So I've got him. I finished painting this guy with Tom on stream just last night. So I started him on Friday evening, spent about an hour and a half, and then completely forgot that I have to put an Agrag Surshade layer on, leave it for 12 hours to cure, then put a Null Oil layer on all the armour underneath to make that lovely, nice, black, glossy, oily colour, and then leave that 12 hours. So ended up having to go back on and do an impromptu stream last night with Tom, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so finished him off.
For those listening at home on the podcast who can't see what you just did,
Oh, yes.
that's
that
Armature
was
Morax. Is
Morax,
it
yeah.
There's some pictures on
You
it.
said this guy, and there'll be people like, what guy? What guy?
No, we need to
I
know.
cannot see.
What's he talking about? So yeah, you can check out my Instagram for the Armature Maxis. So I've got another one of them, which I'm just base coating at the moment.
You looked like you'd lost it then. You were like, oh no, where's it gone? It's run away.
So I'm actually using this as an Armature Helverin.
Oh,
So I've
okay.
used a Meraxes chassis, and then I've kit bashed two, using assault cannons.
Yes.
To build two arms, so he'll have
The autocannons.
two big guns on there.
Nice.
He doesn't have the little top gun on the top, but I always think they look a bit naff on regular Helverins anyway. So I've painted him silver, Iron Warriors, and then just thrown on some Tamiya clear green X25 on there to start off the green colour. And I'm just about to start painting the cream on it in a minute. So yeah,
Quick question,
Cool.
I've had
What,
Yo.
now that you've got that GW brought out the Iron Warriors silver paint,
yeah.
and you used to use lead belcher quite a bit, was it?
I did used to use lead belcher, so lead belcher's a little bit paler than Iron Warriors.
So Iron Warriors
so-
is darker still.
Yeah, so Iron Warriors is darker still, and I think it goes very, very well for the type of painting I'm doing, so you end up with this lovely, dark, grimy colour. Anyone who's not on, who's listened to this as a podcast, I'm waving a model around. So yeah, you get this really nice, dark, rich colour, and then usually put Necron compound over the top, so you get nice, shiny sections on it,
Yeah.
on the backs of the hips up here. You can check out pictures on my Instagram.
Yeah,
and
it
on,
gives it that kind of
Scott's
more like industrial, like dirty,
Yeah.
grimy look, as you just said.
So I do really, I much prefer Iron Warriors as a paint. I also think out of all of the metallic paints that I own, Iron Warriors and probably Brass Scorpion go onto the model easiest and are least likely to go off and go gross.
Yeah.
So Liberator Gold, for example, is just a horrible paint.
Yeah.
Looks pretty when it's on, but it doesn't last. So yeah.
It's interesting.
I've been a busy boy this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The Meraxes, do they? So they've got their special weapons, and we talked about those.
Yeah.
Do they come with any like pental mounted weapons on top?
No, so the Meraxes, instead of having that, all Meraxes, if they're within 6 inches of any Titanic Knights, so any Castoris, Cerastus, Acastus, or Dominus classes, as long as they're within 6 inches of them, they can perform a heroic intervention of 6 inches.
Oh wow!
So it essentially means they're like guardian knights to other knights.
Wow. Okay.
So if
Like
anyone
Titan
does try and charge me, if anyone does try and charge them, they can just lush in.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It's a bit more of a naff version than the 30k rules, because the 30k rules on them, if anyone tries to charge, they can also overwatch them
Oh, okay.
and then can charge them.
Yeah.
So that would be really broken, because their rad flamers on their hands are just hideous.
Well, there you go. You've got rad flamers, and you've got the lightning gun.
Yeah.
You could take them
So
as Hawk Shroud, because they've got a strap that lets them do that.
Ooh.
Check that out. I know you're painting them non-yellow, but you know.
Yeah, I try not to go with. So mine, I take them as House Ravens. So I painted this guy about 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
there we
Jesus.
Yeah, he's amazing.
You can see it's got the House Raven banner between his legs there. That's in the original red colours, but I've kept him nice
Yeah,
and green
like
and pretty.
my first night, because I was like, yeah, I don't want to do the Raven colours because that looks difficult.
Yeah.
I did,
Yeah.
obviously because I love blue.
You can't tell.
So this is Cantor blue, and I just
It is a very nice colour blue.
it's great. I just need to kind of go back on this guy and give him a separate kind of the split colours. I'm probably going to do corn red, which is the one on the blade here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You could do one as corn red, and then see how I've alternated on the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Do one of them with the yellow and black chevron warning stripes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You could
Possibly.
just mix it up. Like loads
Yeah.
of Titanicus players and Knight players always have like alternating.
Yeah.
Like, you'll do like half a knee or half.
Yeah.
You know, like your shin guards on that Knight. You know, they'll do
Yeah.
like you can mix it up a bit like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the armigers, because I did this not intentional, but so I could tell them different on the tabletop from obviously how tall we all are, and the tables are really low. So the war glaives have got corn red,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Did
But
you
then the
replicate
It
that?
looks,
I think
But
it's
then-
really nice.
but then the Helverins have got Thousand Sun blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
okay.
your knight? Have you got one of the I think it's Crusader class where it has two guns. You could almost do it so the big Dakar one.
Yeah.
So if you were to ever get yourself Dominus, let's face it, no one's ever going to get the one that's not a Castellan.
I like the Valiant though, you know.
He's good now.
He just looks cool.
Gorgeous, but it's 600 points for trash because it's harpoon's not a close combat weapon.
Oh no.
Stupid, isn't it? They should have made it. They should have had a rule where you shoot it and you pull them towards you.
Do you like
Yeah.
the gauntlet? Like if you wound and they fail the save, you get to fucking just throw that
It
shit.
does like
Even
what
if you
flat
just make
10 damage, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's insane, but it does flat 10 damage. You can only use it once, and then you're kicking someone, and you have to be 12 inches away to use it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
bit-
I always
how's
thought
the,
that they should swap the flamer and the plasma cannon between the Castellan and the Valiant so that it balanced out their weapons more.
Yeah.
It makes the Castellan less of a I'm going to stand right at the back and blast everything off the board.
Yeah.
And it encourages then you to use it in a more tactical way to get the fullest out of its weapons.
Yeah.
And also means that Valiant is worth taking because
Yeah.
you just take Call's Wrath on it and then the harpoon.
Yeah.
Just be fantastic.
But even the Flamer, you know, give it the relic, the Traitor's Pyre. You know,
It's good.
it never made.
Traitor's Pyre do on it.
So it's like it's like re-roll all wounds on the Flamer or something like that. But it's like a Strength 7 Flamer, like -2 damage or something like that.
3d6 shots.
Yeah, so it's a lot of auto hitting.
Yeah.
But I guess from a GW we like to make money. Duh. It just never made sense that it was like,
I should get some knights.
yeah.
I don't have any knights.
Let's cut night conversation. I've got a whole
It's like,
box
hey,
of unbuilt Titanicus Knights like on my shelf because I saw when that box deal came out, I was like, you can't not because
Get
it's
them.
like half price basically
Yeah.
for them all. So we've got 2 mini
Yeah.
porfs, 6 Erastus, and like I think it's got 12 Questoris in there or something like that. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The legs from the Questoris are really good for making servitors. Just in case you want to make some. If you've got a tech priest and you need some
If
servitors,
you were an
use the
Iron-
legs from the
Iron
Questoris.
Hands player,
Yeah.
that would be
Well,
quite
yeah.
cool, wouldn't it? Like,
Well, they're
mini
only
knights.
they're like 20 points. They're 20 points each in their elite slot. So if
Yeah.
you needed to fill an elite slot, you could just get some servitors, and you can give them heavy bolters if you want. If they're hanging out with an actual tech priest, they can hit things.
The most competed over slot for a Space Marines army is the elite.
I know,
choice.
it's elite. Especially Space Wolves. Everything I have is elite. I don't have any troops or heavy
have
slots or
troops, yeah.
anything. Everything is elite.
Speaking
even
of
with-
Space
even-
Wolves,
2 troop choices.
they've just announced that you're getting
Yeah.
a cool new unit, Christian.
Oh yeah. I was going to mention that, and I've got to.
Go for it.
Was it called?
Zegway, you
What
in
they're
there?
called Hounds of Morocco, is it?
Hound-
Morocco?
yeah.
Psycho Hunters.
I-
Psycho Hunters.
Are
Yeah.
they a
Psych-
Reaver
Psycho
upgrade
Hunters.
kit then?
They look like it, yeah.
They look,
Uh,
just look like
they-
normal
well,
Reavers on the picture.
The kit on it, I think they are normal Reavers. They've just used the Space Wolf upgrade kit. It says multi-part kit for them, but they've blatantly just gonna go Space Wolf upgrade kit, Reaver kit. There you go, multi-part.
Have fun. But great.
But But I mean, to me, what's it going to have? Psych out grenades, maybe, or something, or whatever the things of the Klexus assassin. Is it Klexus?
They may be able to target psychers like.
Yeah, possibly, like the witch hunters do.
Inquisitor does.
Yes.
Greyfax does it.
Greyfax, that's the face.
So that might be a reason to finally buy a box of
Just
Reavers.
wait for that. Don't find it up.
Yeah, just wait for the combat patrol because I'm looking at the box now.
Oh yeah,
so
no,
you've
definitely.
got-
That combat patrol's got the Reavers in. It's got some intercessors in, and it's also got a baby jumpsuit, baby Bjorn thing that I kind of wanted to get.
the
one anyway.
Invicta Tactical Warfare, and you've got the
that's one.
battle leader as well, the Primaris battle leader.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get another one of them guys. I could turn one into Lucas the Trickster that way. Not that I need any more conversions to do, but
Of course.
Yeah,
I've got
there's
spare
always 4 on the
bits.
planning table. But
I've got that Grigor Fellhand spare, and so he's got a lightning claw, and then I just need a plasma pistol, and there we go. That is Lucas
we were
in a
all,
nutshell.
Like, Reavers sort of have never been good.
Oh,
Like,
No.
we've tried
utter
to
garbage.
make them work a few times. They were good in Kill Team because
Yes,
they grapple.
a tube can
Oh,
attest
yeah.
to that. It's fucking
Can you
bulletproof
remember that
Reaver.
game, Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The unstoppable take every plasma rifle round that I've got on my team, which is 3 of them with Culvine, so that's 9 plasma shots. None of them did anything to him whatsoever.
I had one sergeant who ran at him and made every 6 to save you can think.
Oh no.
Yeah, it
He
was horrible.
crap in combat. I think it took maybe 2 or 3 turns of combat to kill one guy.
Yeah.
He just took shot after shot after shot. It was just like, bring it. I actually painted him with burn and char marks on his armor.
Yeah.
Just to
No,
rub
it
it
was
in.
good. It was a very fun game that was as well. Very thematic, very nice. It was just a pain in the arse, but I quite enjoyed the idea that this guy's just shrugging off plasma hits. Like it was almost like exactly how Astartes, the
the little YouTube thing, yeah.
does it, where the Marines are just unstoppable death machines,
Yeah.
and that's what it was like. That's why Kill Team was good in that way. That was
Well, that's what
sort of
the
brought
Marines
about
became.
scenarios like that.
So
Yeah,
You brought
and-
about 8.5 Marine dominance. That's your fault,
Yeah.
Christian. You failed to kill them before they got too strong.
I couldn't. It just no matter what I did, and then like, oh no, that was a game against Sam. That was bloody Imperial Guardsman
Yeah.
tangling everything up. I send my robot in, and it's like beep boop, kill all humans, and then he's like, hi robot, and then they start hugging him, and then he can't hit them hard enough or frequently enough for them to die, and they're just not running away or anything, and it's
The
just
only time
disgusting.
Guardsmen beat something in close combat by the sounds of it.
Oh no, they didn't beat it. They
No?
couldn't do any damage to it, but I couldn't kill them because that robot's got no it's got weapon skill 5 or something like that. It can't hit anything,
Oh, well.
even though it's got power claw, because it's got power fist at -1 to hit.
Yeah.
And but
He hit,
yeah,
but-
so but he just kept dodging out of the way of the bloody hits. Pain in the ass.
So obviously now you're talking about Reavers. I was like, let's look at the Reaver datasheet in the new book. And I was like,
Oh, yeah,
let's
good
see if
point.
anything changed. Because
Yeah.
nobody
nice
talked
in
about
there?
Reavers. And when I go to this section in the book, there's aggressors on the other page. So obviously I don't look on the other page. So the only change, the quick glimpse, is their bolt pistol. So do you remember it was a
Heavy
heavy
bolt
bolt pistol, which was the first kind of type we had. So it's changed now to a special issue bolt pistol.
Okay.
Still strength 4. It's now -2 instead of -1.
Okay.
1 damage, 12-inch range, pistol 1. Combat knives still as they were. You just make an additional attack. No AP. The user strength. Grapnel launchers, Reaver grav shoots, all that stuff. I think the only thing that will maybe come into play is the Terror Troops rule with the change to morale.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that might be. I don't think that's.
because
But
that's what they
very
said.
loose though. Yeah.
That's what they said in the article, that the changes to the morale phase, because it's an attrition test now, isn't it? Should mean that anything with -1 leadership or
It's
whatever,
-2 for Terror Troops now.
-2.
I think whether it was
Okay,
-1
well,
originally.
That's better then.
Within
'cause it
3
was
inches,
only
though.
-1 before.
Yeah, within 3 inches.
Yeah, so that's better than in combat. It was in combat before, wasn't it? So
Yeah, I think it was very short range, if not in combat. Yeah.
So -2 on this attrition test thing, which, if I remember rightly, is more of a problem than a leadership test originally was.
It's
Yeah.
weird now. Like against
Yeah.
hordes, it's really good. like people, horde players are just stanking the new morale. Like they're not losing anyone, but elite troops and elite armies are losing people left, right, and centre. So it's having the complete opposite effect of what you would expect.
Yeah.
Like I watched a
I thought a horde player would have lost more. Don't you roll a d6 per person?
Per person.
And then...
But you lose 1 if you fail the morale test. Let's say you've got a 20-man squad, 6 of them die, okay? So you lose 1 from failing it, and then you roll 13 dice. You might roll 2 1s. Right, well normally, if they've got like leadership 6, you've lost 6 guys and you roll your dice, you would immediately lose 6 guys. But you might be... So you're losing it's roughly about half to a third less people are running away.
So the attrition test it's just the failing the morale. It's just a morale test, isn't it? The terror troops just affects a morale test as normal, so it just pushes you into the attrition easier.
Yeah. If you're under half,
but you still got
it's on a 1 or a 2, so that's when it can get quite big. But with a huge unit,
and then
realistically, that's all Reavers go into. Like,
I suppose that they are supposed to be dicing up.
You wouldn't throw them at Terminators. You'd throw them into Orcs.
Yeah.
But
with the changes to and they shall know no fear. So obviously so previous codex was you just re-rolled the morale test.
Yeah.
Okay, no biggie. Now it's you don't re-roll the morale tests, but you only when you suffer combat attrition at half strength, you only lose people on 1s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not 1s and 2s. So it's like I'm running 5-man squads. It's very rarely going to happen with the +1 leadership for me. Like they'd have to be throwing some chaos stuff at me, chaos reavers. You know, they'd have to be hitting me with a lot of minus debuffs for me to be going. Okay, yeah, leadership's probably an issue.
Like, the terror from Tyranids or it's interesting, and I think. Does Reavers now have a stratagem that allows them to take a objective secured off somebody? I remember hearing about this, but I didn't.
Interesting. I will have a quick look while we talk about the next bit, which I was gonna go into when we were talking about those knights, but then obviously we talked about Space Wolves because your codex is coming out for pre-order very soon. I really want to get some Forge World dice. I want to get some of those Miraxes because they look really cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, I want to wait for the Forge World Compendium to come out. Now, I've heard that the pre-orders for that are going up very soon.
Yes, this weekend.
Yeah, so...
next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah. So, any kind of speculation? There's been no leaks that I know of. I've not seen any leaks, but any kind of speculation on what we might see?
Forge World Knights are about to get much worse. It's what happens every time they do an update.
I mean, Forge World needs an update for a bloody long time.
Yeah. I'd just be happy with Inquisitor Hector Rex getting the keyword that lets him be included in an army without it breaking.
He just wants to be included.
I just want to play.
Because he doesn't have the little keyword that says, you can use him as an Inquisitor. You can only use them in an Inquisitor army.
Right.
An Inquisition army, but an Inquisition army is Inquisitors.
Yes.
End of army. So I don't know how you're supposed to... Oh no, you can use... There are a number of elite slots, so you can do like a Vanguard detachment sort of thing. But like there was no... they never had the troop choice to use.
Inquisition. Because they have speculated 2021 will have a new army.
Agents in the Imperium, I think, is the thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, that had a book a long time... Yeah, it had a book in 7th.
Yeah.
At the end
so, I mean, like, you because 3rd edition had Assassins as a book. I don't know if Inquisition was a book in there as well, but you kind of... If you have Agents of the Imperium and it's an index supplement type jobby thing for Assassins, Inquisition...
It had Custodes in it. It had Custodes and...
the Sisters of
Silence. You could throw them in there as well. All the Imperium task forces that may or may not normally fit in, or maybe just special, like Legion of the Damned, put them in there as well, that sort of thing. So I don't know, forces of the Imperium or something.
Imperium
where
Other.
It doesn't, where they're not big enough for an entire codex, but like,
I think if they'd never released Deathwatch as their own army, or never released Custodes as their own army, then they would bring out Agents of the Imperium, because it would include Custodes as like a hyper elite unit, and Death Watch would be your basic infantry, and then Inquisitors would be your standards,
HQs and elites.
HQs, and then you'd have Assassins and stuff as your elites. But because they've chopped it up so much to generate smaller armies, I don't know whether there will be an Agents of Imperium unless they bring out whole new...
I like the way that the Inquisitors work at the moment, in that you can include them in any army of the Imperium.
Yeah.
That's fine. That is exactly how Inquisition should work.
Yeah.
And Assassins should be the same as well. You shouldn't suffer for having an Assassin in your army, because the whole point of them is that they're just there. They appear because someone from Terra has sent them there to destroy something specific.
Yeah.
It's not like you've built your army around. You know what I mean? Like lore-wise, it's not like they've built their army around knowing there's an assassin there.
People, like if a Space Marine captain turns up and there's an Eversor assassin on his ship, like he's going to be like, hang on. But
getting off here, boys.
They get to the battlefield
Prevent the
separately,
ship. We need to get it off.
Yes.
They get to the battlefield independently. They operate independently. And they just
it
go,
shouldn't
oh,
affect
crap,
your
there's an
army.
assassin there helping us out. Like, or if it's a guard army, they might not even know it's there. And it's popping off shots.
Yeah.
It's an interesting prospect.
It is, because obviously they took all the non-compliant guys and put them back in a book. Grey Knights are the only Space Marines going into Night, which will have their own separate book. So it's weird. Like, I guess we'll see. I'd like to see another Xenos faction, or
Imperium's got a ridiculous amount of sub factions.
Yeah. It's because we're the best. I found that stratagem. So it is 2 CP. It only affects Reavers. It's called Terror Troops. You do it in your command phase. So I think obviously with the dawning of this book and the Necron book and all the books to follow, you'll have stuff to do in your command phase. So when we film a battle bot and we go, 2 CP, I don't have a chaplain, let's move on. There's going to be more and more stuff. So I think the timing of stratagems and employing different things is going to come in massive. But the wording on this is, so use a stratagem in your command phase, select 1 Reaver unit from your army. That unit gains the following ability, Terror Troops Aura, until the end of your next command phase, whilst an enemy is within 3 inches of that unit. So on the rules on the book, they suffer a -2 to their leadership within 3 inches. Yeah. The stratagem's allowing you to say, it loses the objective secured ability and any similar abilities that allows them to control an objective marker, regardless of the amount of enemy models within range of the objective marker.
Oh, that's massive.
Okay.
That's a bit spicy.
Well, then suddenly Reavers are the ultimate up yours point scorers.
Yeah.
And they can deep strike.
Especially because,
interesting.
I think a common thing in Chaos Marines armies would be taking 20 Plague Marines, and then taking them as aligned to Alpha Legion. Yeah, Alpha Legion. So they're -1 to hit, they're toughness 5, they've got feel no pain, and there's 20 of them that now have 2 wounds each.
Yes.
Good luck shifting that, and they have OBSEC. You can't move that off an objective without supreme volumes of firepower.
Definitely.
So, I think taking Reavers just to screw with whichever players take them, or Custodes as well. Someone rocks up and puts 5 Custodian Terminators, like Alorus Custodians on there. You're not moving them without a lot of guns.
Yeah, the next bullet point in the stratagem, so it's not even over.
Oh.
So until the end of the turn, each time that Reaver unit ends a normal move, an advance, or a charge move within 3 inches of an enemy unit that is performing an action, so raising the banners, all those other secondary action objective things, roll 2d6. If the total exceeds the enemy unit's leadership characteristic, the action the unit is attempting will fail.
At this point.
Which they're nerfing. That's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Do the new Space Wolf one? I hope they come with the Reaver keyword then. But
that'd be horrible for everybody.
It's an odd one because obviously they were really bad. Nobody was using them.
Yeah.
GW must have stockpiles of Reavers that aren't shifting. So to make them shift, they've then gone, right, Space Wolves are getting a unique version, and now the stratagems makes them reasonably good. In a competitive setting, because they can deep strike, they can charge.
They're fast as well.
They're fast, yeah.
It's cool, isn't it? Because they don't. Didn't they get the Phobos keyword as well?
Yes,
like,
they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
When the Phobos have come out. So the next stratagem down is called Guerrilla Tactics, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Phobos unit from your army is more than 6 inches away from an enemy model. Let me start that again. When a Phobos unit from your army that is more than 6 inches from any enemy model is selected to move, if the mission you're playing is using strategic reserve rules, place that unit into strategic reserve.
Ooh, so you can literally just pick them up and then chuck them back in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Interesting.
That's pretty... Can you use that in turn 1 then?
Yeah.
So you could literally put them down as a feint maneuver.
Yeah.
And then just like, I'm going to take these 10 Reavers off the board. And then you can go, oh, where are they going?
I'd probably
And you
deep
can
strike them in
reposition
turn
them.
2, bring them back out, and then you could deep strike them back in again. Because this game seems to be all about denying primaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
if you can get people off a primary...
Yeah, it's such a
before their
big
turn,
swing. Yeah.
It's massive. So that could
Yeah.
have some... If used well and intelligently, that's going to have a huge impact on the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massive.
Luckily I sold all mine.
Yeah. I bought a box of 5 when they did boxes of 5. Obviously, they all do 10s now. Because I bought a box of Hellblasters and I bought a box of Reavers. Obviously, the Hellblasters are still as good as they ever were, if not better now.
Yeah.
I repainted one of them Deathwatch for Kill Team. And then the other 4 are just in a box somewhere, so I'm sure I'll find them when I go through this consolidation. And then either find one on eBay and run a squad of 5, or I don't know.
Well, there's an ETB box of them, so you could get the ETB box and get 3.
Yeah, I grabbed an ETB box and I'm using them for my Thunder Wolf Cavalry, which have had a huge buff as well. Now you've got me started on it. They, I think they had it before when I didn't play, but they have advance and charge. So they move 10 inches. You can then advance, and then you can do the charge afterwards. So
That's tasty.
yeah, so what's that? 20. Calculating. How many inches is that?
It's a lot of
6
inches.
inches.
That's
16
the only thing with
inches.
Space Wolves I find is you've got a lot of options that do very similar things.
Wolfen have had a big nerf though. They don't do that anymore.
Do they still buff everybody else around them then?
No, not as much as they did. I think they do, but they don't affect themselves anymore. Like with everyone, doesn't affect themselves anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Space Wolves have a lot of things that do similar stuff.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff that they have that gets into combat fast.
Yeah. Well, you say there is.
Advanced charge.
Thunderwolf Cavalry with
heroic
advanced
interventions.
charge. Everyone's got heroic intervention, which
The faster than
seems a bit of a
White
double-edged sword. That does. I mean, the bikes don't do it; it's just the wolves that do it.
Right. Okay.
But all of the wolves do it, including Logan Grimnar on his sled.
On his sled, mate.
Because he's got 2 wolves pulling him. He can advance and charge, and he's that one that has 12 attacks on the charge with his swingy axe mastering sort of choppiness.
Yeah.
Nice.
14 wounds. He's a tank, but not a tank. It's actually now been reclassed as chariot.
Oh wow.
He's
Okay.
got
The
his
only
own
chariot.
So he's not-
He's got his own, but now he's not a vehicle or infantry anymore. So you can't heal him with an apothecary, a chaplain in our case, in Space
or a
Wolves case.
tech marine.
But you
Or an
can't
Invader
fix him with a tech
ATV.
marine either. Yeah, hey, the Invader ATV, though absolutely horrible in design, will look nice once I buy one and turn it into a land speeder.
That's so broken at the minute though.
Yeah.
Oh, the new land speeder. That out of all the new stuff, I got Indomitus, but out of all the new stuff that's been coming out now, the land speeder is the only thing that I am thinking about getting.
It's called. Is it a Storm Speeder? Is that the new one?
I think it just looks sexy. It just looks.
It's
really
very
good.
it's
I've got to say,
very
I
Raven
really
Wing,
like
isn't it?
The Hammer 4 bunker.
Oh,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
it gets so much hate, and I'm like,
It's filth.
look at it. It looks like a big dock off.
It's very
turret.
Space Marine. It is.
As soon as there's space on this painting table, I'm buying 3.
But like in terms of game balance, it's just like this thing can shoot every single enemy unit, so they're going to be banned from Apocalypse.
What?
Straight up.
Yeah, but
Still within
I'm
range.
saying that they already had the Deathstorm one,
Yeah.
the Caryabdis one, which hits everything within like 18 inches.
18 inches. Yeah.
Or-
This has got 36-inch range, 72-inch missile launcher.
Yeah,
I mean,
we may have to
heavy bolters have been buffed.
adjust that.
Like heavy bolters are good.
Yeah,
It's only the heavy bolter or the flamer that hits everything within range.
yeah, it's not the missiles.
Thank
So
God
it's
for
only
that.
heavy 3. Yes,
Yeah.
strength 5, -1, 2 damage a pop now, but it's only heavy 3. Like originally when I saw it, I was like, my God, there's like 8 heavy bolters on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So it is literally just the one profile on it. It's not heavy bolter
It's literally one
heavy 3
bolter
Yeah.
that
times
shoots everything in
Yeah.
range.
8.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take the
It's-
flamer as much as I love the flamers, but the heavy bolters, literally.
It's just
it's
making the
shots,
assumption.
Damage 2. Yeah.
Do you want to know what
So
happens
you
when
can have
you
this-
Overwatch it? What if you want to charge it?
You can still Overwatch, can't you?
So it overwatches, but its heavy bolter turns into heavy 6, and the heavy flamer turns into heavy 2d6.
Okay.
Why?
Because
Why
I
does it
suppose
do
it's
that?
supposed
There's
to
lots of
show that there's lots of them, but not breaking enough that lots of them would be shooting you at the same time. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you're
Okay.
charging one facing of it, aren't you?
yeah.
I mean,
So you'd be charging 2 heavy bolters
Yeah.
or 2 heavy
Yeah.
flamers.
you know, the Repulsor's got more guns on it than that does, but
Mhm.
that doesn't get to shoot absolutely everything on the table.
That's true. That's true. And it is BS4 to start with as well, guys. Remember, so it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't obviously get rerolls. It's not core. The only buff that I've seen so far that you can give it is stick a Tech Marine by it and use the Awakening, the Machine Spirit, to give it +1 ballistic skill. But then, yeah, your Chaplain is also.
Your chaplain should be able to give it +1, unless they change that to core or something.
Isn't that only with one weapon though?
It's
What, the
like
Tech Marine,
+1 to your
or-
ranged attack or something.
Well,
We've got
well,
quite rules heavy on a painting.
we have, yeah. So I'm going to go dead silly. So I've
There's a
sent
lot of these
everybody.
Space Marines.
Yeah, so I've sent everybody a picture that I saw a week or so ago online, and I thought, yeah, it's obviously a joke. Who's seen the new painting handle
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
slash
Yep.
bedroom aid?
Yeah. I don't. The
I didn't
ergonomic
wanna say
painting
what that looked
handle.
like.
Exactly,
So, I
bedroom
have-
aid.
That one.
Yes.
Citadel one. Redgrass Games. Ergonomic one, which
Yeah.
I don't really use that much now.
Do you not use it
I'm
much?
just going to go into. This is my painting.
Man down!
It was
No.
free. Came
What
with
the
my
hell?
birth.
Do you not like your Redgrass Games one now? Have you gone off
I
it?
Did you
use
lose
it,
me there?
but for stuff like this, like a large ship or a large something, I'm not even using the clamp on the Citadel one. I don't use it for this because I find stuff just pops out of it. It's well annoying. So just put blue tack on the bottom of the base of it.
Fair enough.
The butt plug end.
Yeah. Obviously, for those guys at home who are listening to us, it's a 2020 take. It's very 2020 this handle. Like it's like an upside down wine glass, with the clamp on top. Obviously, you'll see pictures if you Google it online or if you're watching us on YouTube. But it's very risque, to say the least.
Citadel, I brought something out for gamers' wives. It's like they've finally done something.
Does your partner play too much Warhammer?
Yeah. You can
Keep
Or for the
them
guys, I
interested.
guess. You know, it's not just for the ladies. You stick 2 together. No. Anyway.
It looks ridiculous. Honestly, it looks ridiculous.
Where is this conversation going?
This is going in the Patreon only stuff for sure. So the last topic I wanted to cover, obviously we're running over a little bit, but the last bit I wanted to cover was when you're not streaming. Obviously, we're streaming 3 times a week, or we're making content. What do you do when you're separate from the conversation we've just
Citadel
had,
painting handle.
what do you do when you're hobbying solo?
Oh.
So what I mean by that, stealth boxes, is when you're sat at your desk now without any.
That painting handle.
when you haven't got the cameras on you, you haven't got you don't need to perform for anybody. What do you do? So for me, I'm listening to an audiobook. It's typically Warhammer related at the minute. It might be focused on what I'm painting. So I had a Sisters of Battle one I was doing when I was doing the Sisters, or I'm watching battle reports on YouTube. Obviously, people at home will have various different things that they do. But what do you do? I know, Tube, we've talked that you're not massively into watching battle reports or maybe Twitch streams. So what do you do? Do you just sit there in zen silence as you speed paint your way through the next 30,000 points? What do you do?
Oh no, I can't sit in silence when doing my hobbies. So if I'm sat upstairs at my desk because my wife's watching Desperate Housewives downstairs, I think she's trying to send me a hint. I'll put chill hop music on, or I'll put Netflix on or something like that. And if I'm downstairs and have the opportunity to paint downstairs, I just watch telly at the same time. Yeah. I take my painting mat downstairs, put a bit of newspaper down on the floor, mainly because at the old house I had an exploding part of Agrex Earthshade. As in, it was a full opened part of Agrex Earthshade that night that I knocked over, and it went.
It was a full part.
Yes. It rapidly emptied, and thankfully we had brown carpets.
Oh, as if you planned it.
Is there a slightly darker brown stain there?
After a lot of scrubbing and renting one of those little jobbies, it managed to go, but God.
The most expensive
my
£4 ever.
did something like that.
Yeah, I always watch telly or do something with it. I can't just sit in silence.
Yeah.
Especially when you are doing... Because when I batch paint, so I batch painted 15 aggressors and 15 interceptors in one evening. It took me about 6 hours, I think it was, and then probably about 2 maybe 3 hours before that in prep time. Essentially, because I paint my models in two halves. So here is one model painted in one half, just holding up a quite sickly, stark white and green armature, and then the second half is obviously the toned down, finished, polished version. And I've always painted that way. Always do base coats, which are usually just block colour, throw some washes over it, and then bring out the final colour that I want to apply to the model. So when I am doing that, if I'm doing that to 30 Space Marines, I don't paint one Space Marine to absolute completion. I will put one coat on. So when I was painting my Blood Ravens, I started with corn red. So I put all the corn red across the entire model and left it in blocks, so across the armour plates, but then left in the backs of the knees, arms, hands, around the crotch zone, left them all metallic and silver, and then once they were all done corn red, I'd then do a coat of Mephiston red over that, over all of them, and then go on to, I think it's not Flashgates red.
The Evil Sons?
Evil Sun Scarlet. So Evil Sun Scarlet, and then do Angarath red, and then do Ethereum blue, and then do Praxeti white across all of them. So as they're going along, they look hideous, and then eventually they all look done. But if you try and paint one model doing that is really, really dull and boring. So having something to take your mind off of it. I find Love, Death and Robots, if you are really bored,
that is
put
brilliant.
Love, Death and Robots on.
Okay, yeah, we'll check that out.
Makes it much easier. Just don't get too distracted by how awesome Love, Death and Robots is.
Yep. My favourite one's the one with the plane. It's number 13, and there's like that jet, and the pilot is sort of like every single time they're like, how many planes have come back? Oh, like 6 have died this time. Number 13's come back every time, and they're like, oh, well, everyone usually dies on 13, but the pilot's still there and the crew's still there, and then at the very end it's just sort of like she just presses the self-destruct button and it doesn't do anything, so she runs off. But the AI in the plane didn't want the pilot to die, so pretended not to work, so the pilot ran off, then all the enemies swarmed the ship, then it detonated, killing them all. And it's sort of like machine spirit. Yeah, clever girl.
Like the Russian World War II era one, So it's like a World War II era. Russians go up into the mountainside, and they're talking about clearing out the infestation and stuff like that, and they literally they box hole this entire mountain and then find this nest of monstrous demon creatures that look like some doom, and then they basically do a massive last stand as they call in an airstrike on their own position. It is absolutely amazing.
That sounds pretty cool.
They're brilliant. They're amazing. They are. Those the first thing that someone said, you get Netflix, watch this. That's the first thing I watched on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
I think
It's brilliant because they're all little. They're just little. Every single one's different. They're not all the same. They're a bit like. Do you remember the Animatrix? Do you ever see that? It was like a prequel. It's just basically that, but like a series of completely unrelated things.
Spiders in space is horrible.
Yeah.
So is that going on to top?
Yes.
Watching stuff.
What do you do?
Watching stuff whilst painting is very distracting.
Yeah. I literally sit in silence and paint. That's what I do. I don't listen to anything. I don't do anything like that because my hobby desk is over there. I sit at that and I don't have the headphones on. Anything. I'm completely the opposite. Don't watch anything. Nothing. Just sit in silence and paint.
I can literally imagine a pin drop, or like it drops a bit of kit bash.
No, it is. That's the thing. I have to do it because, like,
to be live.
I chopped the top of this off before, and it just went ting bonk, and I'm like, it's over here somewhere.
But you knew exactly
But if
where
I had
it
the
was.
music on, I wouldn't know where it was. Yeah.
That's it. So it's a strategy because you keep dropping stuff.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. The amount of stuff that I drop all the time, I'm surprised I ever actually could finish any builds because, like, there we go, a hit plate that I didn't even know I dropped, but it was here.
You heard it.
Always got to check. Always got to check for. Always got to check in your crotch just to make sure you haven't got any important bits dropped down there. Yeah.
Cup and stand.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to lose all those important little bits and pieces you've accidentally snipped off.
Yeah. Crikey. That's interesting. Like that's just a funny mental image. You just there, just like, right.
Complete silence. Yeah.
Let's get on then.
Otherwise, I don't concentrate on it, even with the music in. Listening to nice music, it's not a problem. Like with chill hop on or something like that, it's just kind of relaxing. But there's so much effort moving my headphones over there that I just can't be bothered. I think I'm gonna buy a pair of Bluetooth headphones so I don't have to move. Because my computer is about 6 inches too far away for the headphones to reach. So I'm like this, or I move the computer across the desk so I can get it in the right place. And it's just a level of effort that I can't be bothered doing sometimes.
Corrupts himself.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why I've got this high tensile nylon wire headset cable.
I don't know, mate. Like a long time ago, I used to put back reps on when I was painting solo. I did a bit of commission painting a couple of years ago, and I found those so unproductive when I had back reps on because I was just like. And then get a little bit, you know. So I just said to myself, as much as I really enjoyed doing that, because it is, you know, it's fun to immerse yourself in it. An audiobook is better, but more recently I've just been listening to like either somebody else's Twitch stream with them painting along, or like a music stream, or something like a live DJ set, or something. Or put some synthwave on, because if it's got if it's got music that's singing, I'm too tempted to sing along, and that's too distracting.
So you don't listen to Britney while you're painting?
No.
I love how everybody.
Not anymore.
I mean, I found
what's wrong with you.
the Billy from Stranger Things playlist on Spotify the other day, so I was just like, I was listening to that, and then I found myself going, "Rock it like," you know, like started to sing on to that too much. It's like, nope. Too tempting. Let's put something bland on. Or like, if it's like pumping music, I find I get way more done. It has a profound impact.
Yeah.
Like when I painted up all of these, the Mantic Games stuff, I just put I think it was like Carpenter Brook playlist on, which is like a synthwave band, and I was just like ploughed through it faster than I've ever done anything. I need to replicate that.
So when you started on that tangent, I was like in my head, I was thinking heavy metal, like Korn, getting like the demons done, like just listening to some speed metal. You're like, no, just some lo-fi synth. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's just like Carpenter Brut's like it's like dark synth, so it's like
Dark synth.
there's like
Dark synth,
there's
yeah.
guitar
The dark side of
in it,
the synth.
yeah, it's good.
Check it out, everyone. I forgot to mention as well, I listen to podcasts. So either 40k related podcasts or just kind of very similar to what we're doing, just kind of topical, talking about stuff. So yeah, I just mix it up. A lot of true crime podcasts, like.
I don't get true
Maybe
crime.
that says something about me.
Bangs on about true crime podcasts all the time. I'm
You
too old
sit
man
there in
now.
silence.
I don't.
That's like serial killer 101.
Too much is
No,
too distracting for you.
you know.
You need to blend.
I like a good audio book, but I like getting distracted while I'm driving, rather than while I'm painting.
No, but you literally want
Remind
to
me
hear
to
the
never
pin
get in
drop.
your car.
Yeah, whereas where I'm driving, I don't care if I hear pins drop or
Yeah.
as long as I.
Audiobooks
Or
are good
people
for
going.
Yeah.
But you are right.
Oh,
Like,
true.
this sort of podcast is great because you go, oh, I didn't know that about these paints, or.
Yeah.
But if it's, I did try listening to 40k Theories and like just put their playlist on and just listen to stuff, but I found that I would go, oh, and start googling it.
Great to go to bed to, by the way. Like, the 40k theories guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. But then you wake up in the morning and go, Pro Turbo? What's that all
Pro
about?
Turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just like wake up and you know everything about the origins
Yeah.
of whatever Space Marine chapter. Like,
I am now the
Obscure theory,
the custodies.
imagine.
I know the book.
yeah.
I
think
know
my
Kung
wife
Fu.
would garrot me if I tried to put a 40k podcast on while I was trying to
Imagine. She's like, Tom, who's Perturabo?
yeah.
You should
Like
put it
you-
on really quiet in the room.
Subliminal.
And see if you can get her into the hobby.
Yeah.
Well, it's all right,
It's sort of. You want that Gilliman recites the Codex Astartes for 9 hours straight. That's what you want on.
That would help me sleep for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just saw Johnny then, like, oh, yes.
I try-
Slap.
it's getting the right person on audiobooks. It's getting the right narrator as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm.
The voice has got to be good, or it's
Like-
distracting.
Yeah, like the Horus Heresy ones. Like the first three are not that great
Hey.
in audio.
I Spotify Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
I like smashing, brilliant. They're on there. Click on them, right? Play. Das Horus Heresy. Yeah. It's like, oh no, what's going on? I know. Das. I'm like, oh god, that's all German. It's very difficult to follow the story of the Horus Heresy when it's all in German, regardless of how good of a quality the voice actor is. I do not speak a word of German at all. Surprisingly enough. No.
That's
Well, there we
strange
go,
that they got
folks.
that for free.
Yeah, I don't know why the German one's on for free. It is. It's on Spotify. Yeah, it's on Spotify, but it's the only one.
They're on.
Dunno.
They're on
Don't know
Audible.
why.
They're all on Audible. But you
Yeah.
can't use
This
it.
is Audible. Yeah. Oh no.
This is
I just especially Amazon Prime. You get a free one, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'm sort of sitting there going, I should do this,
Yeah.
and then I don't. The only thing I've ever listened to with Audible is Snow Crash, which is fantastic. Oh, and Diamond Age. Well, basically everything written by Neil
But not while I'm painting.
Stevenson, but not while painting. No, that was while
No,
driving.
No.
Too rich for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might start to bleed
Awesome
into the
to
kit
Stephen
batch.
King's The
Yeah.
Stand.
Yeah, well, you
on
know,
Audible.
I'll be starting off painting, doing that there, and then the next thing I know, I've invaded Prospero and all that sort of thing, and I don't want to have to build a pyramid on fire, but that might happen.
Yeah.
Kit bash did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one for when we do streams as well, because
Mm.
I know a lot of streamers, paint streamers, who just play normal music. They don't like we've been using a lot of non copyrighted stuff,
Yeah.
and you find that I think you enjoy it more if you're listening to songs that you like, and the audience enjoys it as well. Like you'll be listening to it, like Will Smith will come on or something like that, and you'll proper get into
Wild
it.
West. Now there we go. Yeah, the entire of Wild Wild West album on
Fresh
there, Big Willie
Prince of
style or
Bel-Air
something
comes
like
on,
that.
everybody's-
Yeah.
Like we had a little
West
sing-song about that the other day, didn't we? One of the new guys.
So literally just went, oh yeah, I'm from Philadelphia. I
From
was originally
Philadelphia.
from Philadelphia, and I just went,
I hope you didn't
were you
massively
from
offend
West
him.
Philadelphia?
We're like, were you born and
Is that
raised?
where you were born and raised?
Yeah,
Where did you
it's
spend most of your days?
You know, like how certain music or whatever like really affects your productivity.
Yeah.
'Cause it certainly does with me. You know, and it's same when you're working as well. Like when you're in work, I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of like more dancey stuff. Because if
Oh yeah,
I've got normal
when I'm
music,
working,
I
if I'm doing
sing.
if I'm doing programming and I need to concentrate on something, I listen to EDM.
Yeah.
You know,
There you go.
just completely something that's just there going. I'm like, there we go, done. And there's people
A
looking
week's
at me
work done in one
because the
day.
headphones at work aren't noise cancelling, so it's just sort of like anyone walks past and they just hear
Yeah, he's in the zone.
madness going on. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, working. Why? Oh, I've got like 2 cans of Relentless.
Just crushed.
Yeah,
Stone Cold Steve
caffeine
Austin style.
overload.
Just neck it.
Yeah.
Energy drinks while painting is also a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
you pierce the bottom of the can and then
Banana instead.
beer bomb. Yeah, so but when I'm painting, no, definitely not. Well, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're painting orcs,
That blends
Well,
in, yeah.
you should be
yeah.
alright.
The guy
Yeah.
in our Discord
Or
recently-
you're dry bushing loads of bases, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
No, Bob Ross it. That's it. Speed painting competition.
Accident, shut up.
Well,
Ooh.
Right, Johnny. Do you want to wrap us up?
Next question, please. No.
no more
Just
questions.
go all night long.
This will go on 24 hours. So thank you everybody for listening this evening or this morning or whilst you're painting, whilst you're not painting, wherever you listen to us or watching us. Thank you very much. Obviously we'll be back again with lots more hijinks, lots more conversations, lots more off-topic types of things. Check all the links in the description below of the video or of the podcast. Spotify or any of the others. I'll have all the information there for us. Check out all the pictures. If you're not watching us, if you are watching us, there are the pictures. Thanks everyone. I've been Warhammer Rose.
I've been Vulcan Lifts.
I've been Kitvash Converts.
And I've been YouTube.
See you guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Can you do your bye again, Get Batch?
Me?
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm just going to add that on the end like the last one.